Welcome to my channel where we fuel minds and feed ambition. If you've ever felt that there's more life than what you are currently living, you are absolutely right, and you are in the right place. This space is for dreamers, doers, and anyone determining to grow. Today, we begin an incredible journey through one of the most powerful motivational books of all time, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hills. This isn't just a book about making money. It's a blueprint for transforming your mindset, building belief, and creating a life of purpose and achievement. As I read each chapter aloud, I invite you to reflect, take notes, and most importantly, take action. Let's grow together, and not just richer in wealth, but in wisdom, vision, and courage. So, let's go into chapter 1. And there it reads, The Power of Thoughts. The man who thought his way into partnership with Thomas Edison. Truly, thoughts are things, and powerful things at that. When mixed with purpose, persistence, and burning desire for their translation into riches or other material objects. Edwin C. Barnes discovered how true it is that men really do think and grow rich. His discovery did not come about at one sitting. It came little by little, beginning with a burning desire to become a business associate of the great Thomas Edison. One of the chief characteristics of Barnes' desire was that it was definite. He wanted to work with Edison, not for him. Observe carefully the description of how he went about translating his desire into reality. You will have a better understanding of the 13 principles which led to riches. When this desire or impulse of thought first flashed into his mind, he was in no position to act upon it. Two difficulties stood his way. He did not know Mr. Edison, and he did not have enough money to pay his rail fare to Orange, New Jersey. These difficulties were sufficient to have discouraged the majority of people from making many attempts to carry out the desire. But his was ordinary desire. He was so determined to find a way to carry out his desire that he decided to travel by blind baggage rather than be defeated. That is, he decided to the uninitiated, that's the means that he wants to eat orange or on a freight train. He presented himself to Mr. Edison's laboratory and announced he had come to go into business with the inventor. In speaking of the first meeting between them, years later, Mr. Edison said, "He stood there before me, looking like an ordinary tramp, but there was something in the expression of his face which conveyed the impression that he was determined to get what he had come after. I had learned from years of experience with men that when a man really desires a thing so deeply that he is willing to stake his entire future on a single turn of the wheel in order to get it, he is sure to win. I gave him the opportunity he asked for because I saw he had made his mind to stand by until he succeeded. Subsequently, subsequent events provided that no mistake was made. Just what young Barnes said to Mr. Addison on that occasion was far less important than what he thought. Edison himself said, so it could not have been the young man's appearance that got him his start in the Edison office. For that was definitely against him. It was what he thought that counted. If the significance of this statement could be conveyed to every person who reads it, there would be no need for the reminder of this book. Barnes did not get his partnership with Edison on the first interview. He did get a chance to work in the Edison office at every nominal wage, doing work that was unimportant to Edison, but most important to Barnes. It gave him an opportunity to display his merchandise where his intended partner could see it. Months went by. Apparently, nothing happened to bring the conveyed goal, which Barnes had set up in his mind as his definite major purpose. But something important was happening in Barnes' mind. He was constantly intensifying his desire to become the business associate of Edison. Psychologists have correctly said, when one is truly ready for a thing, it puts in its appearance. Barnes was ready for a business association with Edison. Moreover, he was determined to remain ready until he gets that which he was seeking. He did not say to himself, well, what's the use? I guess I'll change my mind and try for a salesman's job. But he did say, I will come here to go into business with Edison, and I will accomplish this end if it takes remainder of my life. He meant it. What a different story people would have to tell if only they would have adopted a definite purpose and stand by that purpose until it had time to become an all-consuming obsession. Maybe young Barnes did not know it at the time, but his bulldog determination, his persistence with a single desire was destined to grow, to mow down all opposition and bring him the opportunity he was seeking. When the opportunity came, it appeared in a different form, a different direction than Barnes had expected. This is one of the tricks of opportunity. It has a slight habit of slipping in by the back door. It has a slight habit of slipping in by the back door and often comes disguised in a form of misfortune or temporary defeat. Perhaps this is why so many fail to recognize opportunity. Mr. Edison had just perfected a new office device known time at that time as the Edison detecting machine, later called the Ediphone. His salesmen were not enthusiastic over the machine. They did not believe it could be sold without great effort. Barnes saw his opportunity. It had crawled in quietly, hidden in a queer-looking machine that interested no one but Barnes and the inventor. Now, Barnes knew he could sell the Edison detecting machine. He suggested to Edison and promptly got his chance. He did sell the machine. In fact, he sold it so successfully that Edison gave him a contract to distribute and market it all over the nation. Out of that business association grew the slogan, made by Edison and installed by Barnes. This business alliance made Barnes rich in money, but he accomplished something indefinitely greater. He proved that one really may think and grow rich. How much actual cash that original desire of Barnes was worth to him, I have no way of knowing. Perhaps it brought him $2 or $3 million. Whatever the amount, it becomes insignificant when compared with the greater asset he acquired and definite knowledge that an intangible impulse of thought can be transmitted into physical counterparts by application known as the principle. In the beginning of the book, I mentioned the 13 principles. As we are reading, we get to know them. Let's continue. Barnes literally taught himself into a partnership with the great Edison. He thought himself into a fortune. He had nothing to start with, except the capacity to know what he wanted and determination to stand by that desire until he realized it. He had no money to begin with. He had but little education. He had no influence, but he did have initiative, faith, and will to win. With these intangible forces, he made himself number one man with greatest inventor ever lived. Now, let us look at the different situation and study a man who had plenty of tangible evidence of riches, but lost it because he stopped 3 feet short of the goal he was seeking. This is interesting. Barnes was determined to achieve something, and at the end, he got it. He had no money. In the book, he had little education. He had no money. He heard of Mr. Edison, and he was willing to go and meet Mr. Edison and partner with him. Just look at, you have no money and you want to partner with someone who has money, a wealthy person. But it is fate that took him there. Even though when he went there, he wasn't given the attention. But you see that detecting machine that the salesmen in his office were not able to distribute and sold. Mr. Barnes took that. He saw that as an opportunity. He worked on it, and his name and the slogan became on the machine. So, to be a successful person, or to be able to start something, your dream, sometimes you don't need money. Sometimes you don't need the influence. Sometimes education, education really doesn't matter here. Yes, because the millionaires we are seeing around the globe today are people who have less education. They became millionaires before educating themselves to get their degrees, their masters, their PhD, and whatsoever. So education, what matters is your determination and what you want to achieve. Look at Barnes. Barnes was determined to meet with Edison for a business partnership. And at the end, it works. So this is the end of chapter 1 of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. In my next video, I will continue with the next theme, which is 3 feet from gold. Also, in Think and Grow Rich. Don't forget to like, subscribe to my channel, like and share. Put up your comment out there of what you have learned from this so far. Determination is the key, but you should grow in faith. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye.